So that's how my laughing at a joke practice has been going since last week. You're right. You're right there. You're right there, champ. You good?
Oh, sorry. I just. What day is it?
What year is it, madam?
What year is it?
What year is this? 2423.
Welcome all in one to the Big Damn Cast. As you can hear, being recorded in respective self-isolation as the country is in lockdown. I'm your host Matt, and with me is my co-host.
Not Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Here we go.
With nerdy new. Well, not okay. Maybe not. Geeky got. No, there's not really much of that. And things fit to occupy your time before you die. You know what? I don't think the slogan works anymore.
No.
I don't think the slogan works right now.
Maybe we should retire that for the next 3 weeks or so.
Time for Big Damn Cast. Two men are talking.
How have you been since we last talked, Christopher? Jesus
Does that answer your question? I feel better than last week, but we're now at me and my wife are now at the sore-throated, just coughing all the time portion that feels very much like, when you get at the end of a really bad cold or a chest infection.
Yeah.
And you keep coughing because every other breath stimulates your throat.
Oh.
And it makes you cough.
It heights.
It heights like a mother.
It heights just a bit.
It hurts like a harsh truth. So yeah, but it's we feel miles better, and we're recording this the year of our Lord, pre-apocalypse diaries.
Yeah.
On the night of Wednesday the 25th, and on Friday
25th,
the 27th, 25th today, I think, isn't it? Yeah, because yesterday was the 24th. Yesterday was Disney Plus Day. So yes, today's 25th. 2 days time, but the 27th. And on the 27th, I'll technically have been self-isolating for over a fortnight. And considering I'm feeling mostly better, if by Friday morning I feel better than I do today, I'm going to be going out to get some supplies.
Good luck with that.
But I follow there's a Facebook group that I'm on for our local area that it charts all that stuff. And as of today, it appears the big American purchased supermarket store within the centre of our hometown has been implementing an amount of customer cut off.
Yes.
And doing queues.
Keeks returned from there not 2 hours ago.
How long was she queuing for?
Not long.
Apparently they're relatively well stocked in everything but sort of tinned goods now.
No chopped tomatoes of the own brand variety. Nope.
Yeah.
Very little fizzy.
I can understand that because pot keeps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not once opened, but if you're going to buy something for the kids,
I suppose
then fizzy pop's going to be up the chain.
But yeah,
but I think it's, by the sound of it, because they're limiting the amount of numbers in the store at any one time.
Yeah.
They are able to stock up more often, meaning that when you come in, there's a decent selection of the basics.
Also, they've taken on a bunch of extra people as well.
A lot of stores have.
Yeah. Pretty much all supermarkets have put the word out there. I did a video interview for a popular discount supermarket chain yesterday. That was a new thing. Recording answers to questions and sending it off to Albrecht Discounts.
Albrecht Disco, is that the name of the company?
As it was its original name when it opened as a department store back in Germany, I think.
Right. Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? Because I imagine, were you doing the interview because they're looking for someone now?
I put in an application just before everyone started hiring extra staff.
Right, so they're now getting into their thing of going, right, let's see who is able to come in and help out now. Because are they open during this time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're up and at 'em.
All the supermarkets are open still. They're running reduced hours, a lot of them.
which is good. And so a lot of them are now putting into practice what Sainsbury's started 2 weeks ago, which is the first hour of the day is only for
NHS staff,
yeah, NHS staff, the elderly, or people who are carers.
Yeah,
for that first hour, which is brilliant. It's like well done on more supermarkets for kind of cottoning on to that and taking advantage of it. Because you know what, there are twats out there who are buying everything when they don't need to.
Yes.
But it's also
we've not hoarded anything, which is nice.
We've been quite good. We've been sort of helped by parents and stuff popping by and being like, "We're going somewhere. Is there anything we can get for you? And we'll drop it off outside your door on the way home." It's like, bless you. But even then, like we who have been, just to reiterate to listeners, who've been in the house for 2 weeks and haven't left.
Yeah.
We have not panic bought when we've asked for bits and pieces. We've just got what we need as we normally would. Because why be dead any different? Why be dead any different? So tonight we ate the last of the chili, which is bloody lovely. Tomorrow we're on to the simple pleasures in terms of tea of beans on toast.
Beans on toast.
Yeah. God bless the takeaways, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
We've had at least 4 of them in the last 2 weeks. And that's been a big help, because just every other night you can be like, right, don't have to worry about it. Someone's going to drop some food off.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, the trick though then is like, right, need to get up and do some exercise in the morning, because otherwise these takeouts are going to be showing.
I'm going to be melded into my chair.
Yes. I've kept myself relatively sane by doing stuff. Like I've been keeping a streaming schedule. I've been putting some broom cupboard stuff together for patrons. Because obviously, unlike this show where we do have some stuff banked and we can start sprinkling it, like broom cupboard production is on a halt now.
Yeah.
For that show, we have 1 episode yet to go out, and I'm delaying its release by a week just to stretch it a little.
Yeah.
But after that episode's gone out, there are no other recorded as yet episodes of Broom Cupboard, and I kind of don't want to do any over Skype because I don't want the end product to have us chatting about what's currently happening. Unlike this show where we're a weekly appointment.
Yeah. You kind of want
one has to be a time capsule almost.
Yeah.
and
semi-timeless.
Yeah, and I hate the idea that it's just going to creep into conversation during it. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
So I'd rather cut off the season where it currently is, and then bank a bunch of season 2 and then release it.
Everything is about the virus.
Yeah. But of course, then production headset has to go on of, right, well, how do I plug that? Because you don't want your patrons to go, so we're getting nothing for 3 months. And it's like, no, I still want to make stuff. So I'm currently making that to stay sane. I've completed a game I'd never completed before, finally, Ghostbusters.
Oh, you'd never finished it?
I hadn't finished it back in the day. I got as far as the Return to the Sedgwick back in the day. And I think I just found it a little, control-wise, a little tricksy. But now I've mastered it to the point where, like, I'd finish the level on stream, and then I'd go downstairs and be like, well, I was just going to relax for an hour. Let's put the PS3 copy in.
Yeah.
Just, like, do the next bit on the PS3 version. So, yes. Aside from that...
That's neat.
I'm doing okay. How the bumbling chuck have you been, aside for applying for a job to help save the world?
Yeah.
And also saving Mars? Where's Doom Eternal set? Is it
Earth.
Mars?
It's at
Earth.
Yeah.
Good God. Sweet Lord.
Because as Doom 2016 was to original Doom, where it's set on and around Mars.
On around Mars.
Doom Eternal is to original Doom 2, which was set on Earth. It was subtitled Hell on Earth.
Hot damn.
It's on a demon-infested Earth, and thanks to the kindness of close friends, I've been ploughing through that a bit. The levels are really long.
Oh God, watching you on the stream, Jesus wept. Like the time between sort of like the story's kind of the wrong word, but like narrative segments that propel the motivation forward.
Sprawling levels.
And lots of guts.
Oh, so much.
So many guts. And that's just the environment. Never mind what you're pulling out of things.
But yeah, as well as that, I've been plugging away at some other things and just trying to find stuff to do around the house so I'm not under Kiki's feet because she's working from home at the moment. Which kind of limits the stuff I can do production-wise during the day, but means I can do other things like housework and such. We've been we've actually been out in the garden for the first time in forever, and we've been trimming back a lot of the overgrown hedges so we can actually see out of our back garden now, which is nice. And sort of uncovering the lost treasures underneath that overgrown bush, including it's grown through the top of the wood fence, because it was mostly a brick wall with a little bit of wood fence on top, and all this foliage has grown through the wooden fence.
Hot damn.
And just rotted the fence completely, so that's all come down.
Okay.
And then underneath it is like this raised brick sort of planting bed, which we didn't even know was there because it was so overgrown. And in that we found such treasures as a ornamental cherub, garden cherub.
What? Don't blink.
An ancient food recycling bin. And a petrol can with about 2 litres of petrol in it.
What the hell?
I'm
just saying now, that cherub has been burning victims and then recycling the bodies.
I don't know why all that stuff's there, but there's currently an enormous pile of trimmed vines and creepers in the backyard because we've cut down more than we can fit in our recycling wheelie bin.
Yeah.
Into our green waste wheelie bin.
We're hesitant. We're doing the garden tomorrow, and we're like, is it going to get taken away at the end of the week? Or are we going to end up with a lot of rotting dog poo and stuff in a waste bin?
I guess we'll find out. But yeah, I've been doing bits of housework and keeping on top of chores and just trying to stay out of Geek's way while she's doing actual work and playing the piano.
Damn,
which is new.
Yeah,
because you've got a keyboard that neither of us play really, and Geek's got it to learn, and I tinker away on it every now and again. So I've been actually giving that a bit of effort for once, which is nice, something different.
A bit of tinkler. Has it got headphones? Like a headphone jack?
No, but I'm upstairs while she's working, so I'm just not. I can do things around the house and be doing things. Today I streamed several films while she was working, which we'll talk about shortly.
Have you found yourself being a bit of an Alfred? Have you been making brews and checking in?
Yeah. But at the same time, just not wanting to bother. Because it must be really frustrating to be sitting there working and have someone going, do anything, get anything, get your drink, you want a brew, you want a sandwich, you want a back rub, you want a...
You're obviously not saying it sexily enough.
Oh, clearly not. If that's my sexy voice, something's going very wrong. But tell me...
I don't know, I mean, I'm sure this, do what 90% of the female population of Instagram have done over this past week and start an OnlyFans, and who knows? I'm sure there'll be people out there. Don't. So there's been a whole... I was like...
I mean, you don't have to start an OnlyFans. We have got a Patreon. There is that kind of stuff on Patreon.
That's
as well.
true, but we're not putting our boobies on Patreon, you see.
Other people
do. And then get kicked off eventually when the things get too big and Patreon discover it, because Patreon does not allow sexual content as a rule. But glamour photography and cosplay, albeit in the more extreme sense, does get through the net. Because there's been a lot of articles obviously going out this week about self-employed people, what they're going to do. As of the recording of this, we are apparently a day away from finding out what the UK government's protocol is going to be for self-employed people, whether or not there's going to be a minimum grant or...
It's going to be a big middle finger.
I wouldn't be surprised. Would not be surprised.
On a number 10 letterhead.
I would not be surprised. I mean, that's the one thing I can deal with, because I'm self-employed and find it hard to get chunks of work anyway. So that's the one thing I'm used to dealing with. The thing I'm more fussed about is that my bank is now putting together a program on the online banking that'll be ready apparently by next week to officially lock down yourself for a mortgage holiday, which I'm like, that'd be great. 3 months of not having to pay the mortgage would be very useful right now, because it's just gonna be added interest free to the end of the period, end of your mortgage anyway. And I'm like, yep, that'd be nice. So I'm just waiting on tenterhooks for that one. But
that's good.
The self-employed thing, it would be handy, because like for example, myself and yourself currently are self-employed people.
Yeah.
And if suddenly the government turned around and went, right, look, we're gonna chuck you. It's not a lot, but we're gonna chuck you like 300 quid this month and 300 quid next month. It'd be like, that helps a lot. Thank you very much, government.
Well, I tried to get onto Universal Credit because I've had trouble looking for jobs for a while.
It's been a tough one. I was just before all this went to shit, I was looking at whether or not I needed to sign on just after I got back from what was then my Easter gig.
Yes. Well, let me tell you about signing on, Chris. The government have this thing now where you have to do the gov.uk verify system to verify your identity when you create an account for anything on the government website. And that's like identity vetting through an external company.
Okay.
When I did it, it gave me the option to do it with the post office or with this company called Digi-Identity. Mm-hmm. So I did it with the post office, created the account, but I had to wait in a queue to create the account. This is all online.
Yeah.
So I had to wait in a queue on a website. Guess what number I was in the queue?
Go on.
16,000.
Jesus wept. When was this?
It took me till... This was on Sunday.
Right.
No, was it Sunday? Monday. This was on Monday.
Okay, so it's just before lockdown, but around the time everybody realises it's probably about to start.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And so I did that around noonish, and it took until 1 a.m. to actually get to the account creation.
Oh, good Lord.
Did that, and then it immediately put the details in it asked me for, and then it immediately said it couldn't verify my identity and locked me out. So I can't do anything. So I went back on the other day to try it with Digi-Identity.
Yeah.
That put me in a queue of 55,000 people, which cleared at something like 3 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
So I missed my session, went back to the back of the queue, and was about 50,000 people behind. So I've sacked that off for now.
Yeah.
Because it's not worth it. Because Keeks is working. I'm still looking for work.
I think
something will come along.
I think we're at the point now where we need to just start eBaying our organs.
Oh, I've eBayed everything else.
Has your eBay? For those who are wondering, we're on eBay. I'm official CDJ. What's your ident? What's your ID?
I've no idea off the top of my head.
He will come up with a ton. But we're on eBay and we just sell shit. Like, we both own things and we have to pay for bills, and sometimes it's just nice to have a little refresh of your collection and make room for other stuff.
Yeah, things grow, and then you go like, oh, I've got too many figures. I need to get rid of some.
My eBay, the last 3 days since the lockdown went official, nearly everything is sold. I didn't have a lot on there. I had about 15 items, and about, as of tonight, 9 of them have sold.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's really bizarre about this is I had to message, because some of them sold on Monday, so I had to message a bunch to basically say, hi, it's not going to be delivered by Wednesday, because circumstances, but I will keep you informed of exactly when I deliver them. Like, don't worry, here's a bloody photo of them in its packaging, it's ready to go out. I just, I need to...
I can't leave the house.
I can't leave the house right now. Wait a bit longer. And everyone's been back in touch and said, completely appreciate that, thank you very much, don't worry about it. Great. Which is good, because you get a lot of people on eBay who are really shitty about these sort of things and would be like, well, I want a refund now then. It's like, you shouldn't have bought something during lockdown, you freaking weirdos.
I've got stuff that sold over a month ago that still hasn't been paid for.
Oh, it's weird, isn't it?
It's very odd.
It's weird, and disputing it usually makes the whole thing last even longer. It's better to just send them messages going, where's my money? Where's my money?
Well, I did that a week ago, giving them 14 days before I cancelled it.
Yeah.
So I've got another week to wait on those, but I have a feeling they're not going to come through now.
But that's the weirdest thing is people have gone to eBay and gone, well, while I've got the time, sod it, I'm going to try and buy that thing I want. It's like, yeah, but also, what a weird time to, like, the other day, a toy arrived that I ordered 2 months ago. I felt bad that it arrived, because I got a dispatch notice the day before, like 8 at night, saying it's been dispatched. And I was like, what? What? No, huh? Because it was, it was a lot. It was a pre-order. And then I felt really bad, because I was like, a courier is bringing a toy to my house right now. That is...
But it's the little things that keep... If there's one thing that I've learned from playing Death Stranding... it's...
Always keep a baby in a bag.
It's... No. That is handy. Okay. Handy advice. But... And technically it's a bottle. So...
You bridge baby.
A a canister. So it's the delivering the little things keeps us all human.
True. And I suppose, again, the courier, the couriers have been deemed key workers. So it's work, it shifts.
Yeah. And their kids can go to school.
Yeah, true.
So the kids are being looked
So in
after,
that case, thank you, Jadoon Captain.
Thank you.
You've kept someone in employ.
Fucking hell.
It's a really nice toy. It's even got the milky eye.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
And her guns and accessories are dark purple instead of the red of the original. It's nice.
But that's enough wittering about
Jadoons?
nonsense and the virus.
Jadoons?
Tell me,
Don
Miguel. Tell me about The Mandalorian.
Oh!
Because I definitely have not seen
You've
it.
not seen The Mandalorian? No.
Definitely not seen The Mandalorian.
Definitely not seen The Mandalorian.
I've definitely not seen all 8 episodes.
No, not at all. You couldn't
And now
have.
that Disney Plus...
Yeah, you couldn't have.
I couldn't have because Disney Plus hadn't launched in the UK. And when they did launch, they only launched with the first 2 episodes, correct?
That's true. First 2. Same with Clone Wars, the final season as well.
So, and it's coming out week by week. So, having not seen all 8 episodes of The Mandalorian because it was not released until yesterday in the UK. Tell me about The Mandalorian, Chris.
Well, feel free to take guesses at any point, by the way. If you feel like you could guess what happens in it, feel free to just leap right in.
It's a completely uneducated guess based on not having seen The Mandalorian at all because it's not been released in the UK.
Of course. Yeah, it's...
Until yesterday.
Well, The Mandalorian is a Star Wars television series premiering exclusively on Disney+, which... I've got to say, as an interface, is like less busy Netflix. It's kind of nice. It also feels like there's not much choice on there, weirdly. But when you look at each individual thing, like a TV show, see how many seasons there are, you're like, no, there's quite a lot here. Like,
yeah, I think there's a depth of content more than necessarily a breadth.
Yeah. It's like Mubi. Is it Mubi's that service they're doing where they only put 30 films on at a time? And every day one film leaves and another film goes on. The idea being that like you shouldn't be browsing for hours because you have to watch one of the 30 things that's on there.
I'd still browse for hours.
Yeah, through 30 thumbnails.
It'd be like an eye test.
Yeah.
Number 1,
number
2. Number 1, number 2.
Number 2. Number 3.
Number 2. Number 3.
God damn.
And that's just the Friday the 13th movies.
Oh, we'll get to them. But yeah, it's pretty good. There's a lot of fun on there. I immediately delved into the Pixar shorts and found a penis. No. I immediately delved into the Pixar shorts and then watched some of the 2013 to 2017 Mickey Mouse cartoons. Have you seen any of those?
Oh, no.
They're incredible. These are the ones where Mickey's got like meme face, if that makes any sense.
No, it doesn't.
The art style is sort of oh good lord, the art style is very not crude, but like it's very characterful. It's sort of like a weird looking newspaper strip. Yeah, like here's a genuine screen grab from one of them that's been put into a meme. There's a genuine screen grab of one of them.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's a bit. I want to say Adventure Timey. It's a bit more elastic.
Yeah, it's got one of those kind of vibe. It's got one of those kind of feels to it. There's a Mickey, don't sue us, but I'm gonna whip you a little clip.
Mickey, don't sue. Mickey, don't sue. I'm in trouble with
Mickey,
Disney
don't
and...
sue. I'd quite like some food. I'd like to feed my family. The coronavirus. I can't find the clip, but there's a wonderful bit that made me fall in love with it, which I saw in a Disney store, funnily enough. Where it's an episode from season 4 called "Feed the Birds." This is my Mandalorian review, by the way, everybody.
How much is it to feed the birds?
Well, it's traditionally tuppence a bag.
Okay.
But he doesn't sing that specific lyric in this cartoon. Though there is a little bird he keeps trying to feed called tuppence. And the very start of the cartoon, is him singing a version of Feed the Birds. The whole cartoon is just Mickey takes some breadcrumbs out to the pigeons in the backyard, but they're all bullying a little one that doesn't get to eat. So he keeps trying to make sure the little one eats, and the larger pigeons get more and more like ravenous in their attempts to like. Well, as soon as they learn of the fridge, they like invade the house, and it's
nice.
It's really good. But the cartoon opens. This is the shot that made me happy to see this on Disney Plus as well. Is you just hear him going, "Feed the birds, la da da do," and then he just bursts out of his door with the weirdest little expressions, going, "Breadcrumbs, breadcrumbs, breadcrumbs from a bag." It's just like, what
Jesus.
is this? Like full on weird little like expressions. Like it's odd.
That's trippy as
It's like
shit.
most of his faces are like troll face, like the troll face kind of illustrations.
Yeah.
Those are his expressions in certain moments. Right down to, and it's because in the first series they did expressions like that. The internet cottoned on, mentioned it, so from series 2 onwards they used them all the time. And it adds a wonderfully unique flavour to these tunes because they look like no other Mickey Mouse cartoon you've ever seen. They're great. They're so good. There's a beautiful one where it's just him and Minnie on a gondola, and Minnie's singing a song to Mickey that she's written about him, and it's really lovely. Meanwhile, the gondola ends up going down really dangerous routes and ending up in the Amazon River and going on waterfalls, and she never notices and just keeps singing this lovely song while he's having to like swat piranhas with an oar, and it's great. It's basically the Disney cartoons met directly with the sensibilities of like a Looney Tune or a Tom and Jerry cartoon.
That sounds quite sweet.
They're really fun. So that's my review of Disney Plus, guys.
Since you mentioned shorts, did I tell you about the short that's in front of Onward?
No. What's that one?
It's a Simpsons short.
Is it?
Yeah.
What?
It's a silent Simpsons short starring Maggie.
That's really weird to me. But you know what? Actually, it's not too weird. Because I can imagine Pixar being more open to different things being shown before their films now. Because of Plus, they can just put their short films onto Plus. And have them
Also
seen.
because they do what Disney tells them to do.
True. But yeah, the Pixar shorts are amazing. There's a series that I've only looked at
it's
briefly.
pretty neat.
There's a little prank series called Pixar in Real Life, where they just recreate certain moments from their films in real life.
Oh, yeah.
There's one where it's like it's an aquarium, and they've got the aquarium escape from Finding Dory happening. So you've got a pram going past with the blanket and the ball and tentacles moving it along the floor. It's like, what a brilliant idea. There's a street crossing prank where it's a bunch of traffic cones. And you can from Toy Story 2, and it's like, oh, that's wonderful. That is really cool. Like Wall-E gets lost in the middle of a big city, and like people show it directions. It's like, this is so cute. But yeah, Mandalorian. So it's set.
Tell me about the Mandalorian,
it's set in the years,
which I definitely haven't seen.
You've definitely not seen it. It's set in the years after the end of Return of the Jedi.
About 5 years after the Battle of Endor, if I remember correctly.
From the Star Wars trilogy, the only Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah, the only Star Wars.
Star Wars trilogy, and it's pretty great. It's a Wild West story. It's sort of like Firefly if Firefly were a kid's picture book, because it's just so simple. It's so simple. 2 episodes in, that seems to be the style they've gone for. Is just like, you could have the sound completely off and know exactly what is happening. And not only that, characters are going to speak so little that by the end of the episodes, we're just going to credit like 2 people. Because only 2 people are going to talk in this whole
But not
half
necessarily
hour.
the person who is actually inside the Mandalorian costume.
Yeah, well, do we know if Pedro Pascal dubbed most of it, or whether or not he was there?
The only anecdote that I've heard is that Bryce Dallas Howard, who directed episode 4, said that he wasn't on set for any of her episodes.
Okay.
But I believe it wasn't because he didn't want to be in the suit. It was because he had other projects on.
Yeah. Well, it sort of...
And scheduling conflicts.
It affords the lead actor the option to not have to be there if need be.
Yeah. But as far as I'm aware, he was there for as much of it as he could be there for.
I mean, I would be. If I was told, right, that's your costume, I'd be like, I will wear that every damn second of the day if I have to. Look like one of the coolest characters in all of science fiction cinema, but a version of that character that actually does shit, bring it on. I'm there.
Yeah. I would say this is the way.
Yeah, I have spoken. With this show, we finally have our second Mandalorian who actually does shit.
In live action, because there's plenty of Mandalorians in the cartoons.
Well, okay, then our first live action Mandalorian who actually does shit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Jango Fett does some cool shit in Attack of the Clones, admittedly, but he's a setup character. He doesn't get an arc or a story. He doesn't get to do anything too badass, and he's also there to fill in the Boba Fett shaped hunger that people had for more Boba Fett stuff. That's the only reason
Which I don't understand.
Hey, I'm a Fett head, alright? I likes me some Fett, but even I'll acknowledge...
Don't get me wrong, it's a cool-ass design, but if you actually take him as a character who does things, he does fuck all.
Even I acknowledge that all he is a cool look. That's all he is.
It's a hell of a cool look.
One heck of a cool look. I mean, the only genuinely cool moment he has in the 2 Star Wars films he's in, like, as in, undisputably cool, that is awesome, look at you, you badass, is toward the start of Jedi, where he's just hanging out at Jabba's. He's obviously just stayed there for a bit, and he's got, like, Twi'lek girls on his arm, and he's got a drink nearby that he clearly is not drinking, because how the hell does he drink that thing?
Yeah,
and you just look at that and you go, that's telling more of a story than anything you've actually done. Like, that tells us you've got status, you're known, people think you're a badass, the girls are all over you, people are probably paying for your drinks. You decided, you know what, I've kidnapped this guy, the bounty's big enough, I'm going to stay here and just get drunk for a bit and mac. I'm going to mac with some green and blue hotties through my helmet.
To learn more about that, you can always track down the now non-canon Star Wars Legends short story collection, Tales from Jabba's Palace.
Do you find out about Boba Fett macking with some Twi'lek girls?
I don't fucking know. I haven't read that shit, Chris.
Maybe Boba Fett's got an OnlyFans account.
I read the Thrawn trilogy and that's it.
I've just remembered I never finished that story. Not the Thrawn trilogy, the one about OnlyFans. Basically, campsites and whatnot have seen an upsurge in applicants in the last 2 weeks because there are people, male and female, who are going, I'm just going to start doing this from home and that's how I'm going to earn some money from home. And you've had loads of people who do sex work for a living writing out about it and being like, the fuck, guys? Like, no. A, back off. B, it's not that simple. Jog on. We put hard work into this. And C, diluting the market means no one's going to make any money. Plus, that shit will be on the internet forever. So if you suddenly decide after a couple of days doing it, I don't really do that anymore, tough luck. Some strangers have pictures of your tits. And it's like, yeah.
And more.
Yeah. So that's the Mandalorian. It's great. So basic setup is a Mandalorian 5 years after the fall of the Empire, who are still, from the first 2 episodes, there's still remnants of them out there, and they're on their way out, but they're not quite purged yet, because Carl Weathers' character deals in Imperial credits.
I can't remember if this is before or after the Battle of Jakku, which is like considered to be the real end of the Galactic Civil War, but I think there's still Imperial
sway
remnants.
There's Imperial sway for sure.
Yeah. I mean, there's basically little pockets of the Empire scattered about the galaxy, because the idea being after, of course, things didn't just fall apart straight away.
Yeah.
After Palpatine died.
Well, I mean, hell, the sequel trilogy, the reason the First Order exists is because it never quite went away.
Yes.
And there were young neo-Nazi radical nut jobs who started it all up again.
Well, they're all people that fled into the unknown regions. And then you've also got stuff like regional governors, moffs and such. I don't know if there are any grand moffs, but certainly moffs. Because I don't know how many other grand moffs there were apart from Tarkin.
None of them were swaggy enough to wear their slippers on set.
Well, quite.
That's my favourite Star Wars behind-the-scenes story.
So good.
I love it.
So good.
Cushing, so badass. He was like, could you wear my slippers? And they went, yes, Mr. Cushing.
That's so Cushing.
You agreed to be in this movie. You absolutely can wear your slippers on set.
You can wear your slippers if you want to. Yeah, so the idea is basically there's no, because the leadership structure sort of falls apart. So like local warlords and such and moffs just rise up and be like, okay, well, I'm gonna make this. I'm the emperor now, basically. So I'm not exactly sure where it fits in with the already established post Jedi stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a part of the galaxy in which there is still a decent-sized Imperial remnant, ramshackle as they are.
Which is why Carl Weathers' character is originally pays the Mandalorian's bounty collection in Imperial credits.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the Mandalorian makes up, and I love the fact that he's just the Mandalorian. Like, that's not his name, but it's what everyone refers to him as because he is one.
Yep.
And that's it. That's all you need to know. Classic Western man with no name kind of stuff. I love it. But he's like, the Empire on their way out, and he's like, not yet. It's like, those credits are no good to me then. And he's like, right, well, I can pay you in... You can pay him in...
Calamari flan.
Was it...
I imagine, having not seen it.
Yeah. But I love that, because as soon as you said it, I was like, I didn't even think of Akbar. The first thing I thought of was the terrible skit from Robot Chicken, but Akbar's fish sticks. I couldn't help it. The Robot Chicken Star Wars trilogy is part of as big a part of Star Wars to me as like Rogue One or Solo. I'm like, yeah, it's Star Wars.
Fair.
To pass them up is a big mistakey. Good God, it's so good. Akbar's fish sticks from the sea.
You're a bad person.
So he takes that, but it's like half the fee, and he accepts it. And you realise that, okay, so this guy, he's a bounty hunter, he kills people for a living, he collects on what appears to be a, what are they called? There's like an organisation of some kind that deal in these underground, like, assassinations and kidnappings. And
it's a bounty hunter guild.
The guild, that's it.
Yeah, it's the bounty hunters guild.
So the All Guild, All Guild, yeah. So the guild, whatchamacallit, he obviously it's still running its operations, but he's like, yeah, I will happily take half of what that bounty was worth, so I don't have to be mixed up in the Empire. So this is a guy who, despite being a murderer for a living, has at least an honour system. And it's a nice bit of character building that foreshadows the end of the episode, where when he goes after his essentially black market target, where there's no wanted material for it. It's all under the table, but it's really highly paid.
Doesn't know anything about the target other than it's 50 years old.
It's 50 years old. They want it... a scientist wants it alive. Werner Herzog's character, who's basically the... I guess he's the... I mean, I don't know who he is yet. Based on what I know, he's just whoever's running this particular hit.
He is... I think he's only credited as the client.
Yes. Oh, there it is. That's good. He only wants it... This 55-year-old charge, he only wants it, and that's it, the be-all and end-all. He doesn't care what state it's in, whereas his doctor is like, no, I want it alive. And I'm like, there's some creepy science shit going on here, okay. Werner Herzog is surrounded by dusty-as-fuck stormtroopers who are obviously loyal to him.
Yeah.
We're all very trigger-happy and skittish, as you would be walking around in that damn armour.
Yeah.
Maybe wear some different armour, folks.
It's okay, because they can't hit shit.
But... lots of people have been set on this onto this target, this 55-year-old target, including an IG unit voiced by Taika Waititi, who is terrifying. That thing is
IG-11.
That thing's terrifying to look at. It's horrifying, but it's great because you finally get to see one move. Like, we didn't see IG-88 move in Empire Strikes Back. It's just there as part of the lineup, and it's left to our imaginations to imagine what it would do. And now we know.
So you need to get the now non-canon Star Wars Legends short story collection, Tales of the Bounty Hunters.
God damn it. Or just watch Star Wars Robot Chicken.
Or Shadows of the Empire, he's in that as well.
I noticed we also got a bit of a... who's the lizard one? Bosk. Is that Bosk?
Yes.
We got a bit of a Bosk nod in the second episode when that clan ambush the child and the Mandalorian in the canyon at the very start. And they're sort of the same, but they've got more prosthetic mouths. It's like they've actively made the choice of, if we're going to do that species, let's make it so the actors can bloody talk, instead of it just being a beaky mouth, like a lizard mouth. But so that him and this IG unit have a shootout in the middle of a valley. What planet is it? Does it say?
It does.
It's very Tatooine-y, like it's a desert planet.
It's not Tatooine.
But it's not Tatooine, but it does have Jawas and Sandcrawlers, which is now, I guess, saying the Jawas are on multiple planets. They live on mostly sand planets and they're scavengers. Okay, sure, I can take that. And they get to this this camp.
And they like eggs.
They bloody love eggs. They chuffing love that cream egg son of a bitch. They really do. Seaweedy cream egg, available for Easter. That was so weird, man. But a clean cut as well. Chop. It's like, top right off. Let's go.
Good knives.
Good knives.
Sharp knives.
There's at least one Houdini, which made me happy.
Oh, yeah.
So they get to this place, and it's on this desert planet, and a nearby resident helps the Mandalorian out in finding his target, because the nearby resident is an Ugnaught, right? Is that what species he is?
Yes.
Voiced by fucking
He isn't.
Nick Nolte.
An Ugnaught voiced by Nick Nolte.
An Ugnaught voiced by Nick Nolte that not only is a completely practical effect from the actor who's performing the role,
Yeah.
but doesn't have the Ugnaught, because the Ugnaughts are Empire, right? They're working in the tech.
Yes.
Yeah. And their mouths just they've got that big grimace and sort of the larger lower lip. And in that, they just kind of move minimally, and it's just sort of like it's like a low rent beaker from Muppets.
You only see him briefly.
Yeah, they just sort of go like,
Yeah.
This one they've gone, yeah, sod that, completely animatronic mouth. Let's go, and it looks amazing, and it's performed
Yeah, there's
so
a
well.
lot of practical effects in this.
And I guess they could afford to do it because this is the show that's brought back, like in a big way, the
Rear projection
technology.
So a lot of what would be matte shots are in-camera rear projected backgrounds.
Yeah. Which is good in a way because, like, there are actors who, of course, now are used to green screen. They get how to kind of work with that environment. But imagine if you're working with, essentially, in function, a green screen environment, but one where you can see what your character is meant to actually be seeing. That must help so much.
I would imagine
and it looks gorgeous. Like, it looks so good. The show looks expensive as fuck. And it will be.
And
but it won't be anywhere near as expensive as it looks because of the technology and the shortcuts they're using. Plus, it's got a really good visual language, which is established in the first episode by Dave Filoni as the director for the first episode.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni's he's basically like been making Star Wars television for forever. Like,
yeah, he's the Star Wars TV guy.
Yeah,
like
Rebels,
he's
Clone
the guy
Wars,
behind Rebels and Clone Wars and
what's the current one?
Resistance.
Like it's his jam, and that visual language is absolutely there in that first episode. It's all there.
Don't forget Jon Favreau.
Favreau directed number 2. I feel like the two of them have worked together to determine how the show should look.
Favreau's the de facto showrunner.
Yeah. But
like this is his baby.
But you can see Filoni's like animation eye on this with
absolutely.
There are a lot of reaction shots, which TV used to do more of that, but has done less of it over the years. And this show, considering its protagonists, much like animated series that are made, on the cheap and on the fly, considering its protagonists and a lot of its main characters have faces that barely move or are completely covered, a lot of time is dedicated to close-up shots, reactionary shots that linger, which is very, very animation, especially Clone Wars. If you look at Clone Wars, there's a lot of like characters leaving a room. The close will go to the character who's still in the room as they're leaving, and it'll just be a lingering shot for just a moment, watching their face, and then we'll cut to the next thing, and it letting things breathe. And that's what I mean by like picture book storytelling. It's comic panels. It's cheap animation mind set of we need to get the most out of every shot that we can, even if the shots we can't be given a lot to work with. We're going to get the most out of each individual shot, and as a result, it's got a nice, slow, methodical visual style to it. Like the first 2 episodes,
which is weird because
slow.
the episodes are short as well.
Yeah, they're 24 minutes.
They're around a half hour each. I think.
And it doesn't feel like you've rushed through it. No. Each one feels slow. When again, 2 episodes in, not much happens in either episode. We see a bounty. He's told about Special One. He meets the client. He has a shootout. He finds the thing he needs to get. End of episode. Next one. He travels a bit. His ship gets fucked. Him and his mate go talk to the Jawas. He fights a monster. He goes home. Like, not much happens. But it all feels worth spending time on. Let's talk about the tiny green elephant in the room.
The child.
The 55-year-old target, and as the IG points out, some species age differently. Shane will never find out, as he just raises his gun to kill it.
Yeah.
And then you hear a gunshot. There's a close-up on the Mandalorian's helmet. You hear a gunshot. Next thing you know, the IG unit is dead on the floor. And
nice.
Yeah, you can tell he's not said it yet once. No one has said it yet, but you can already tell from this blank, expressionless helmet that he's having second thoughts about what he's doing. Yeah, like, it's amazing because even the Ugnaught, I have spoken, at the end of the second one is like, go on, you better take your quarry, and I suppose it is better alive than dead. Go take it, off you go. Get your money, get your bounty, and you're like, am I the only one here as the viewer who can see that dude whose face we can't see is hesitant about this? And it's the way it's told. It's the visual language of the show. It's done so well. Baby Yoda, it's not Baby Yoda, it's the child, but for shorthand, we're going to refer to it as Baby Yoda because the whole internet has. God, it's cute.
It's a hell of a puppet, isn't it?
It's beautiful. I have seen the creature in the flesh. It made me weep. It was heartbreaking.
Not only is it a great looking puppet, but the amount they can actually do with it is really impressive.
Every time it gets out of its goddamn pram and walks over to him, and he just goes like, "Oh, for God's sake!" He just picks it up and puts it back in. It's so
really
cute.
Good. But actually having a physical thing there on set that can emote again must have been so useful, and it makes it feel like more of a character.
Which is part of the joy of it. I mean, even the...
Yeah. Well, the puppeteers are putting in a real performance with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And even just little elements like the beast that he defeats in the second episode is a CGI creature. But he's being dragged around through mud, he's being slammed up against stuff, so there's no... And that's a real physical performance. So even stuff like that, where they have to rely on CGI to create it, you get the sense the actors were still given, like, yeah, you are going to feel what's happening. Like, we're going to put you through this shit.
Yeah, it's got a real weight to it.
Yeah, and the Baby Yoda is absolutely the prime example of that. In effect, it's beautiful, as is just seeing Werner Herzog in a Star Wars product. What on
Please, lower your blaster. All right, Werner.
Mr. So-and-so Dick. I want to see that edit. It looks lovely. The Jawas look great. It definitely is guilty of weaponizing nostalgia. There's absolutely nostalgia weaponization here, but it's for stuff that we fell in love with from a practical era, and it's still practical. Like the way the Sandcrawler looks, the way the Jawas behave, it's all great. It's brilliant. Yeah. All well in character. The IG is wonderfully creepy, the way it moves and everything. Taika Waititi gives a sort of an un-Taika Waititi-esque performance for it, but his comic sensibilities help land the sort of just funny moments that it delivers, because the character isn't a funny character, but it constantly being like, my programming disallows me to be taken or kidnapped, I must self-destruct. And you're just like, whoa now!
No.
Like, having that comedic sensibility behind it helps with the delivery. I really like it, and I can't wait to see where the next 6 weeks take me.
No, I'm really excited to hear from you about what the next 6 weeks have got in store for you. I'm really looking forward to it.
Also, those paintings at the end of every episode, hot damn.
They're the concept art.
It's beautiful. It shows you how closely they've matched it, because it's just like, oh, guys.
And you can tell it's early concept art, because there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot, like, especially where they've cast actors in it that don't look like the concept art.
Yeah.
But they keep it because it just helps, it helps show the work that they've done.
Yeah.
And also it evokes the Ralph McQuarrie style. So,
God, it does.
Which is so Star Wars.
Speaking of, oh my God. So we talk about the artwork and everything. Have you seen the Ralph McQuarrie homage from the Star Wars Saga box set, the Blu-ray box set of the 6 films? There's a beautiful painting in the McQuarrie style of Boba Fett on top of the great sort of like feathery dragon beast from the holiday special. The only acknowledgement in any official product that the holiday special exists, even though it doesn't say that that's what it's from. There's a motherfucking throwaway mention of that beast in the first episode of this. The Mandalorian that he goes to, she mentions like riding the something. No, the Ugnaught mentions like Mandalorians used to ride the back of a mighty whatever. And it's like, that's the big fucking beast that Boba Fett was riding in the holiday special. But not just that, Life Day gets a flat out mention.
Yep.
From his first bout, he just mentions Life Day. You're like, they made Life Day canon in the new canon.
Life Day's canon.
Brilliant. We celebrate a day of peace. As of yet, the holiday special
Probably
has
not
not
that
been
song,
contradicted. Which makes me happy. I like it. I like it a lot. And my next Disney Plus venture is probably going to be the Imagineering documentary. Because having lost a vacation next month, I'm holding out all hope for my toward the end of the year Disney one. And I want to get as much Disney in my system now as possible so that if it gets cancelled, I can be like, well, at least I visited in my dreams. And then cry. And wank.
Aw, poor Chris.
Wank cry.
Oh, God. So I've been doing a lot of streaming. Watching streaming, not broadcasting.
There is a cream
streaming.
for that, but they say that if it continues regardless after 4 days, you need to consult a physician.
It'll stop the streaming without the screaming. So first off today, I watched Brightburn, which I'm not really going to talk about because I know you want to see it.
Yeah, just before isolation, we picked up the Blu-ray, so we need to crack on with it.
It's on Now TV at the moment, so I was like, I'll give that a go. And I know Geeks wasn't want to watch it because she got the distinct impression there's some gnarly stuff in there because, of course, there's the bit from the trailer with the glass in the eye, and she's not a fan of eye stuff.
Oh God!
I can confirm that there is gnarliness in there, but we'll talk about that more when you've seen it. But rest assured, you're in for a good time. But as mentioned on last week's podcast, thanks to most, if not all, of the series being on Now TV, I thought, you know what? I've never seen a Friday the 13th movie. I should check those out. And around last Halloween, I watched the first one, and I was like, this is not great. And then recently, I watched the second one, and I was like, this is even worse. And so today, I watched 3 and 4.
Wait, you double billed?
Double billed.
So you
Friday the 13th.
double billed the first 2 where Jason is like the archetypal Jason.
The hockey mask.
Full on boiler suit by this point.
Friday the 13th Part 3, which was originally shot in 3D, so it has some really weird framing.
And some really deliberate toward the camera moments.
Some really odd ones as well, which I'll get into. And then Friday the 13th Part 4, the what's it?
The cash-in inning.
No, the final chapter. That's what it's called.
Oh, of a 9-film series, right?
Which was then followed a year later by Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning.
Jesus.
Which I don't think is on Now TV.
Oh.
Which is why I stopped at 4 and didn't watch 5. And also because they're really boring. So apologies to any horror fans out there.
Don't apologise to them. They know what they've done.
You kind of know what Friday the 13th because it's become so parodied. It is horny teenagers in a camp / cabin / whatever farm, getting picked off one by one by a silent, violent killer in a mask. There's not really a plot to any of them. People say things. People say words that form sentences. And those sentences form coherent thoughts. But they don't really mean anything.
And I suppose...
And people talk about...
I suppose the kills, wouldn't necessarily be varied either.
There is some variety, and there's some artistry in the effects work, particularly in the first and fourth ones, because those are ones that Tom Savini worked on.
Oh, good old Tom Savini.
But it's just a bit like, oh, this girl's taking her top off and she's going skinny dipping alone in the middle of the night, and now she's being stabbed. And it's just that.
There it is.
8 or 9 times. With... basically.
Oh dear.
And the like string stab that's become so popular in red letter media videos. That's from Friday the 13th. It's right, so
For those who don't know, what is the basic setup of the Friday the 13th series?
So the first one, but
I could take this one.
You take the first one. You take this one.
Bunch of teens are murdered around a lake by a crazy old bitch.
Basically, bunch of new councillors at Camp Crystal Lake get picked off by what turns out to be the mother of a boy named Jason who drowned because of negligent councillors years before.
Yeah.
So she's killing off the new councillors as revenge.
Pamela Voorhees. Yeah.
Yes. And then at the end, it's got a jump scare ending where a rotted Jason corpse jumps out of the river at the final girl.
Credit.
Yeah. Part 2 opens with said final girl being killed by Jason in her apartment after the fact. She opens a fridge and finds the severed head of Pamela, which she severed.
Yeah.
In the fridge, and then gets Jasoned.
Damn, girl, you got Jason.
And then the 2 takes place at a councillor training camp adjacent to Old Camp Crystal Lake, which has since been cordoned off. And then 2, 3, and 4 basically all take place over the course of a weekend.
Jeez.
So at the end of 2,
which features Jason in dungarees and a burlap sack for a mask.
Yes, it's a pillowcase.
Yes.
At the end of 2, the lone survivor, the final girl, is carried off, and then Jason is left for dead, but he's not really dead. And then 3 begins with him sort of stalking a nearby convenience store and murdering the owners, and then another group of horny teenagers comes and stays on a nearby farm which Jason has staked as his territory, and also there's a biker gang and people get murdered and he gets the hockey mask and it's in 3D, so there's stuff like you alright there, Cocker?
Yeah, I just got stabbed by Jason.
Oh god. So there's
It's
stuff
alright.
like
It's alright, I'm the final girl.
He fires a harpoon gun at one girl and it goes to her eye, but it's shot so the harpoon goes towards the camera.
Of course.
And stuff like that. But then there's also silly stuff like there's a stoner couple in this group of horny teenagers, because of course there is. And one of them's making popcorn and he's putting his face down over the pan as the corn pops to catch him in his mouth. And so you get a POV shot of above the pan with the corn popping into the camera.
Jesus.
And then there's another one with where he's offering someone a joint in the back of the van, and he's offering it to the camera.
Oh Christ!
Stuff like that.
Shots that basically outside of the initial 3D showing don't work and age terribly.
Yeah, and the opening credits, the opening titles with all the cast and stuff have got the sort of Superman font shadow effect.
Ah, right.
So they jump out with this big, long shadow trail that makes no sense because it's not in 3D. And also the print that's on Now TV is shit. Like, it's really dirt. You can see dirt on the actual film.
Oh, God.
It's really messy.
That's worrying.
And then 4, these are all a year apart, by the way.
Okay.
No, they're not. The first one was in 1980. And then it was 82, 83, 84.
Oh, okay, so it's a bit of a time jump. When they went, this slasher thing has probably got some legs. Yeah. Let's make more of these things.
Number 4 was supposed to be the end of the series. Didn't happen because it was very successful.
It's Halloween all over again.
I don't know why any of these were successful, but maybe it was because they weren't cliched then. But cliche or not, I don't think they're very good.
The slasher genre kind of grew from off the back of Halloween, and then became a thing. Like the 80s were full of it, because of course by 1984 you had Elm Street, the first Elm Street.
Yeah.
So thing that, like Friday the 13th probably like, let's keep making more of these because that one did well. So let's keep going.
The thing that Friday the 13th lacks that Halloween and Elm Street have is a compelling mythology from the off. I think they probably try and build one eventually, but they haven't got there as a part 4.
Yeah.
And interesting characters.
Because is the supernatural element apparent in the first 4.
As of the end of the 4th one, it's very much a Michael Myers thing, and that he just seems to be able to survive otherwise fatal injuries. Like, so far, as of the start... So at the start of 4, he escapes from the morgue that he's taken to at the end of 3.
Yeah.
So at some point, I guess he wasn't really dead despite taking an axe to the face.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he escapes from the hospital and escapes from the morgue and goes back to somewhere near where he was, I guess. Where there's a set of horny teenagers, including Crispin Glover, in a...
The fuck?
in a house, and then there's Corey Feldman and his mother and older sister that live nearby. So, and he's sort of terrorizing both of those, but it's not clear how close together they are or where they are in relation to the Camp Crystal Lake. But it's the day after the 3rd one, so who knows what the fuck. 4 actually has some is the best of the 4 that I saw, because it's got Crispin Glover in it, and he's always great. He's always a good watch. It's got Corey Feldman in it,
which is a fascinating watch backwards.
Always a fascinating watch. And Tom Savini came back to do the effects, so the effects are good. So yeah, but it's bad. It's just boring. It's just the same thing over and over again. It's like Jason stalking. Oh, did I see something behind me? No, I didn't see anything behind me. Oh no, I did a naughty thing. I'm just coming down from having had sex with my boyfriend/girlfriend, and I'm gonna come and get a beer. Oh no, I've turned around and Jason's killed me. Ah! Like, Crispin Glover's character, for example, goes to get a bottle of wine after he's just had sex for what's implied to be the first time. Because again, they're all teenagers, horny teenagers.
Teenagers.
He's in the kitchen looking for the corkscrew, and what do you know? Fucking Jason pins his hand to the chopping board with the corkscrew, and then as he turns around in pain, he gets a cleaver to the face. Yeah. While his mate is in the living room watching like vintage film reel soft porn that they found in the house along with the projector for some reason.
Right. Is that so at some point someone can stand in front of the projector and cast a silhouette on the wall?
No, he goes he goes up to the projector screen later on, and then the film finishes and he turns around and Jason stabs him through the projector screen, and he falls down and leaves a bloodstain on the projector screen, and it tears.
Okay. I think we've figured out the problem, Doctor. I think if these had been your first slasher movies...
I've seen all this,
they would have blown your mind.
I've seen it, and I've seen it done better.
I mean, hell, from his peers. Halloween did it stronger in 78.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street found a unique way to do it as a framing device. And as bad as those films get, they're imaginative as fuck.
Because there's nothing interesting about any of the characters, and none of them carry over from film to film, with the exception of cameos at the start from the previous film. Like, the first 4 films all start with recaps of the previous films using footage from the previous films.
Right.
It's almost like a previously on kind of thing.
Yeah, but not in a compelling Evil Dead 2, we're going to remake the whole movie in 10 minutes kind of way.
No, and then 2, of course, starts with the final girl of the first one being killed by Jason, which, again, would become a franchise slasher franchise trope. As parodied in both Scream and Scary Movie, I believe. But it's just not. All of it is just not very interestingly done. Like, the scripts are paper thin, the characters are basically non-existent, the dialogue is perfunctory at best, and what little wit there is entirely invented by the performers, who occasionally are good but mostly are bad. and in the case, the female ones are usually naked.
I think I know why they were popular. It was the only way. It was the only way for teenagers to get away with having boobs on screen at home in the 80s.
If this was,
it's a horror film, Mum.
Yeah. But it's so. But it sort of creates a sort of upsetting relationship between titillation and violence.
Yeah.
Because it is often so immediately after, like, getting naked or having sex that these women are murdered.
Which
men,
itself becomes a trope of horror from that era as well, as it.
The sort of death by sex
the idea of, like, how dare you sin?
It.
Here's what can happen now. And it's like, yeah, but that's not what happens.
But then that's never really... Apart from
it really feels...
Pamela in the first one. Like, saying, they were too busy fornicating to look after my Jason.
Okay,
it doesn't really... Like, that sort of morality angle doesn't really come up.
Oh, they rarely do.
Other than, like...
They rarely do.
You're just introduced to this group of teens who are promiscuous and drinking and usually smoking weed and whatever else and generally unruly, and they get picked off one by one for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason for Jason to be doing any of this. Like, no one ever goes into why he's doing it or what's the motivation. Even if there is no motivation, like in Halloween, you've at least got the Dr. Loomis character who's like, I have to stop him because I can't work out why he's doing it, and it doesn't make any sense. But you at least get that. Someone has that conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas none of that happens. It's just like, teenagers being funny, teenagers being sexy are dead.
Yeah.
That's just all it is.
For the sake of experimentation, I kind of want you to stick with it.
I'm going to.
Because I want to
I've come this far.
I want to see how... But you've watched the final chapter. But I want to see how the series plays for you when it starts to lean more into the supernatural element, because that was the downfall of the Halloween series. Like, the longer it went on, the more it was like, oh, it's supernatural and there's cults involved, and that removes all the horror from it. Whereas,
and I haven't seen any of those.
Yeah, because what have you got? Yeah, you've got New Beginning, which is chapter 5.
New Beginning. So chapter 5 is New Beginning. Chapter 6 is something or other. So 4, 5, and 6 all have the Corey Feldman character from the fourth one. Yeah. So the fifth one's set a few years later, and it's a teenage version of that, so it's a different actor.
Right, okay.
And then he's in 6 as well.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the subtitle is for 6. No, that's 8.
Oh, Jesus.
7 is The New Blood, 8 is Takes Manhattan.
Yeah.
Then it's Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday.
Yeah, which is the one that ends with a tease that then gets responded to in Freddy vs. Jason.
But before Freddy vs. Jason, you get Jason
X, which is set chronologically later than any of them. Because it's in the far future.
Because it's set in the far future on a space station.
Have you seen Jason X?
And no, I've not seen Jason X.
It is delightful schlock.
I'm actually looking forward to Jason X.
Yeah, it's delightful schlock, but it's not intending to be delightful schlock. It thinks it's great horror.
No, but it was that sort of early 2000s wave of horror movies where they were absurd.
Dracula 3000, anyone?
Yeah, and
was it Dracula 2000?
Dracula 2000. Yeah. Where they were just absurd nonsense.
Leprechaun in the Hood.
Yeah,
Leprechaun in the Hood 2,
and had new metal soundtracks.
Back to the Hood.
Were always advertised in Kerrang.
Yes.
So
that starts in the late 90s, doesn't it? And it just becomes a thing.
So I kind of I'm aware of it, even though I haven't seen it, but and I was aware of Jason Goes to Hell because it was one of those movies where the VHS cover was very memorable.
Yeah,
because it was a CGI metal hockey mask with a demon snake poking out of one eye.
Yeah.
Against a flame background.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, this is
a thing.
So that's the kind of thing that sticks in a 6-year-old's memory. But yeah, I'm going to stick with it because I've come this far and I have to know.
Will you watch Freddy vs. Jason?
Yeah, I'll watch all of them eventually.
And then will you watch the 2009 Friday the 13th remake?
Yes.
And then will you?
I might watch that one now.
Then
actually,
will you get opening day tickets to the current in production remake?
That shit's in development hell, boy.
Jason goes to development hell, if you will.
I'm not going to pay for any of them.
Nil.
So, there's a ghost behind you.
Wild Lucy has appeared, wearing a ghost T-shirt and bringing me a cup of tea because she's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll have to put her name in the credits now for the episode.
Interloper.
She spoke on mic. God damn it.
How much do I get paid?
You don't get paid anything. We don't get paid anything.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Soz balls. Take your cute dog and be gone. So,
it's a hell of an experiment, that's for sure. And
will it be worthwhile, folks?
I'm not paying for any of them, so I don't know. I don't think 5 is on Now TV. 6 and 7 and 8 are. But I don't think 5, 9, and Jason X are. And Freddy vs. Jason isn't.
You might.
So I'm going to have to shop around.
I was going to say, you might have to perform a naughty for number 5 just to fill that gap.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, perform a naughty. Well, if
yeah, because I don't do that for things at all. I definitely
didn't do that for The Mandalorian at all.
I definitely didn't do that for Mandalorian. No. I definitely didn't do that for the Nicolas Cage Colour Out of Space because it was only playing at home cinema for like 3 days, and that was £10 a ticket.
Yeah.
And then all the cinemas closed.
Yeah. How was that, by the way?
It's excellent.
Yeah.
It's excellent, and when it becomes legitimately available, you should get it.
I shall.
I'm probably gonna pick up the Blu-ray.
Well, if your marathon ends up lasting a million years, let's make a big damn commentary play date for Freddy vs. Jason. Because that is the one Friday the 13th movie I own.
I'd love that.
And I have a soft spot for it because it is dreadful.
Yeah, I've heard it's dreadful.
Namely because my favourite random bit of trivia about it is there is a character in it who originally they were speaking to Jason Mewes about playing. And then he didn't play it.
Yeah.
And the character is basically Jay from Jay and Silent Bob and the Clerks films. Like, you know, without shame, they've just gone to who the actor who plays the part, play it like Jay. And he does. And it's really, really, really weird. And made even more weird by the fact that around the same time, a couple of years before, Jay and Bob cameoed in Scream 3.
Yeah.
So it's really in a scene that is meant to be sort of loosely taking place maybe at the same time as the events of the last act of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Despite the fact that makes no sense.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, before we get to that point, I also, if I'm doing all the Friday the 13th, I might as well do all the Nightmare on Elm Streets.
Now that
because I've only seen the first one and the remake.
Those are the only ones you've seen.
Yeah,
I've seen
bits of New Nightmare.
Right, you are in for a treat because
but I haven't seen any of the others.
They get bad, but two things.
But they get weird.
2 things remain.
Which is why I'm interested.
That's the thing. 2 things remain unshakable. One, they're always creative. No matter what, they're always creative. Even if it's not hitting, none of them are like that was garbage. It was that wasn't a great movie. That bit though was really cool, and that bit was really good. And 2, Robert Englund is a fucking superstar.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what the character of Jason is kind of missing because it's not a consistent performer across the film.
So even the physicality changes.
So the physicality changes. His makeup, the look of him changes.
Oh yeah, I've just from like looking at the NECA action figures, like what's under the mask looks so different from film to film.
Yeah, the hockey mask doesn't come in until the 3rd one, and then he doesn't have a consistent costume, or he doesn't even have a consistent weapon. Like a lot of people, a lot of times he's portrayed with the machete, but I don't think he actually killed anyone with a machete in
the first 4.
Oh no, I think he does actually. It's difficult to tell whether it's a machete or some other kind of bladed implement from shot to shot because he just uses whatever's at hand.
What he needs is a glove blade and a stripy jumper.
There's a moment in 3 where he kills 2 bikers with a gardening fork.
Okay.
So it's like that bit. It's like that bit with Zygon Harry in the interior of the Zygons, but bloodier
and with less emotional stakes.
Yeah. Yes.
There's one
with no emotional stakes.
There's one Nightmare on Elm Street kill later into the series where the series becomes less good. Where there's a lady she's a bodybuilder, she's a massive like gains freak, and her
Yeah.
fear is bugs, because earlier on a cockroach really freaks her out. So those are the two bits of information that the film feeds you before eventually her nightmare happens. And she's lifting. Freddy's suddenly there and he just is holding the bar down and she can't, and it's like going further and further down. She's unable to lift it and she's like panicking. Her elbows rip open and eventually her arms come away and she stands up, and protruding from the stumps that were her elbows are giant fucking cockroach legs, and she's just screaming and looking at So like that, it's in a terrible movie, but it's a damn interesting kill.
Yeah, there's nothing that...
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing about what Nightmare on Elm Street does... Nightmare on Elm Street, about what Friday the 13th does that has any of the sort of thought put into it as that does, of, like, establishing a character, establishing their fears, and putting them in a scenario which plays on those fears. It's just, you skinny dipped, and then you ended up in this dinghy for no reason, and now I'm stabbing you through the bottom of the dinghy. Oh, okay. Two teens having sex. I'm going to put a pole through both of them and stab them together and put it into the floor.
Also, unlike the Friday the 13th series, the Nightmare on Elm Street series actually keeps its promise mostly. Freddy's Dead, the Final Nightmare is indeed the one where Freddy is killed off, and it's the last one of that series.
Yeah, because New Nightmare's like a meta
New
thing,
Nightmare's a
isn't it?
meta story that takes place in our world, and it's really good. Like, it's post-Scream Wes Craven going, now how can I do Scream but for Freddy specifically? And it's great, and it brings back Heather Langenkamp. At this point, no longer an actor. She's just playing herself in this. Like, she was Nancy in the original one and the third one. And she's just playing herself in this, and she's great in it. It's really bloody good. And after the fact, because actors from the first one appear in it, after the fact, people were like, oh, so it's a shame you couldn't get Johnny Depp. And they were like, yeah, we just figured he'd be too busy. Johnny Depp found out about it and went, I would have done it. I absolutely would have come. Because at this point, it's like, shock-a-la Johnny Depp, like he's, post-Cry Baby, post-21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
They just assumed he wouldn't be interested. And he was like, no, I absolutely would have come back to do this. This sounds great. And it's like, well, that would have been an interesting version of the film, like, to see that extra layer to it. But the ending sequence of New Nightmare is horrifying. Like, it's really, like, it's Doom Eternal. It's that kind of levels of what the hell is happening right now.
Ace.
And then Freddy vs. Jason's the next one canonically, and it's more of an epilogue. It doesn't require you to know the events of the series, other than Freddy is legit in hell. Like, he's gone now. He is a whisper in the wind, and fear needs to be brought back to the people of I'm trying what it's called now. It's Spring something, the town where Elm Street is. Like, fear needs to be brought back, and as to do that, he sends Voorhees back to Earth. Like, he forces him back to Earth to kill people around that area, which stokes the urban legend of Freddy again, and starts.
It's so dumb.
It's dumb, but it's sort of like, you don't need to know either of them. All you need to know is two slashers. One's magic. They're both dead. Now they're going to kill people, and at some point they're going to beat each other up. Yeah.
On the subject of whispers and fear, have you had a chance to watch Candyman yet?
Not yet. No, we need to crack into that one.
I it'd be worth talking about it when you see it.
I do. I'll need to sit Lou down. Tonight we started, because obviously we plowed through our Doctor Who marathon a bit. Tonight we started Underworld. I forgot the amount of bouffant haircuts in Underworld. Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have I seen all of them?
I haven't the heart to tell you. Because after this is the Invasion of Time, which to me is like the archetypal problematic 7-episode story, because it's like 6 episodes in it, Invasion of Time. It's like these first 3 are really interesting, and then the real villain reveals himself, and this is cool, and then we run around a leisure centre for 3 episodes pretending it's the TARDIS.
Why can't every 6-episode story be the Seeds of Death?
Seeds of Doom.
The Tom Baker one. The Tom Baker one.
Yeah. Why can't every 6-episode story just be clips of Barbara and Ian being awesome? Not even a story, just clips of those two being great. To this,
I never finished The Chase, by the way.
Oh, but you
I haven't
have
watched the last
to. There's a
episode of it
meme. There's a meme in the last episode. London, 1965.
London's 1965. Right, let's do some emails and then I'm going to go.
Meme mails?
Yeah, meme mails.
Woo! That's all I've got. Oh, excuse me.
So, emails.
Yes, meme mails.
From y'all. This one came in a couple of weeks back, but I didn't get to it because I knew we wouldn't have anything to talk about because nothing's happened in the world except for the virus.
Virals?
So, this one comes in from George, and it's a long one. And like I say, it's a couple of weeks old. So, apologies for that, George. Greetings, big damn lads. Seeing as we're quarantining ourselves and I haven't sent you an email full of random shit for what feels like a century, I thought it was the perfect time to get in touch. First off, I'd like to congratulate you boys on your Patreon, and once this contagion subsides, as well as various payments I have that should see me saving some money, I will be pledging my cash to you fine fellows. Hopefully merchandise won't be far behind. At this rate, God knows.
Big damn tote bags.
Yeah.
Put your shit in a bag. Carry it on a string. It's never comfortable. Why did these become a thing that people use? Tote bags.
Tote bags. Fucking
That's
hell.
it. That's the infomercial.
We're definitely not doing tote bags.
Toe rags.
Well, that we can do. Doctor Who do like Tenacious D did it on their tours and do the official Big Damn Cast cum rag.
What is a?
You never see the Tenacious D cum
What
rag?
is the Tenacious D cum rag? Is it just like a tissue?
It's like a
Like a hand towel?
yeah, like a little flannel, but with like unicorns on it and shit.
Oh god!
And the official Tenacious D cum rag.
Oh my god! We're doing it. We're doing it. The official Big Damn Cast official Tenacious D cum rag.
Yeah, let's do it. Doctor Who Series 12 happened.
Yeah, that was on. It was on TV.
Along with did you see Jodie Whittaker's little Doctor message?
I did. Oh
Very cute.
yes. It also gave me a really easy way to block a bunch of people too. You just
Yeah,
scroll through
yeah.
the comments and be like, someone's shitting on it. This is literally a positive message to reassure kids. Block. Block.
Bye.
Don't ever have to see tweets from you again. Block.
The best Twitter response I saw to it was the campaign to crowdfund a replacement for Jodie's iPhone 4.
That's brilliant. See, that's funny negativity. That is negativity where everyone's in on the joke. That's great. I love it.
Or people saying, if Jodie Whittaker can spend 5-10 minutes talking to herself dressed as the 13th Doctor, talking to a flip phone, then so can I. How do we do it?
I saw one where someone was saying, right, no excuse, every Doctor who's got access to their costume needs to do one of these. And I'm like, if this becomes a thing, if we get Tom through to Jodie doing weird little videos with like just a coat on in a cupboard pretending to be the Doctor, I'm all there for it.
I mean, just get Tom to do one and just go,
oh, my breathing. Oh, my dear.
Just get him to laugh for a minute long and that'd be
that would be beautiful. Have you whatchamacallit? Have you got plans to do the Rose watch along on?
Probably not.
Oh, Baba, Milky Baba,
We'll see.
Milky Baba.
We'll see.
Russell's written a prequel for it. Apparently, that's going to be going up on the Doctor Who website. A little prequel story. And did you see the introduction to the Day of the Doctor watch along?
Oh, the straps.
Yes. That was wonderful. Moffat wrote it, Dan Starkey filmed it, Neve McIntosh chucks a line in, they edited it, put it online. It's like, this is cute. This is really bloody cute.
Yeah, it's cute.
Doctor
anyway,
Who
back to the email.
distracted us all for 10 minutes.
Doctor Who Series 12 happened, and I liked it more than Series 11, on the most part. But after talking about it for so long, I'm having some cool down time before the Blu-ray release, and I'll see if my opinion has changed. I wanted to say that because of Tom Monty's email that I do feel like Jodie is a decent Doctor, but she's let down by the crowded TARDIS syndrome. I'm all for 13th and Yaz exploring the universe in the next series, especially after her moments in Can You Hear Me? That I hope are explored further. I agree.
Same.
I have also had a realisation since the finale regarding the 50th anniversary. Stephen Moffat said that they had to provide the drive to get to the 100th, essentially allowing the show to carry on forever. When the Doctor walks onto 90 Smoke Machine Planet looking at Gallifrey, he says, "It's taken me so many years, so many lifetimes, but at last I know where I'm going, where I've always been going, home. The long way round." We assume this to be Gallifrey, but what if after countless lives and regenerations, the Doctor always had something calling them in the back of their mind? It would explain retroactively why Hellbent was so soon after the anniversary. The Doctor is going home the long way round, and I hope that a future anniversary elaborates on this. What say you?
I'm all for that.
That's an interesting idea of the Doctor trying to go to where they originally came from before Gallifrey. Yeah, it gives future writers something to play with if Chris Chibnall doesn't explore it. Which I don't think
maybe
he will.
Maybe not his lifetime. It might be one of those things where a future showrunner picks up on it and goes, actually, and I'm for that in a way. Because to me, the end of Day of the Doctor works perfectly on a watch of Day of the Doctor, and it's really sweet and bombastic and triumphant and lovely. But it is soured a little by the fact that Gallifrey is kind of thrown away and then is eliminated again in terms of what happens after it, which is a bit sad with that knowledge of foresight. When you're watching it now. But at the same time, to me, the Doctor never wanted to go home to Gallifrey. The universe is their home. Like, they travel. They're a traveller. Which Capaldi so beautifully states in Death in Heaven. They're all like, I am an idiot, with the box, helping out when I can, and all this. Like, that's who the Doctor is. They're not fussed about going back to Gallifrey. They just want to know that it's safe. Is it good? Yay, I'm not a double genocide executing maniac who blew up 2 species, even though I spent a bunch of time with trauma, 3 whole incarnations nearly living with the fact that I did. Turns out I'm not. Yay, Gallifrey's safe. I'm moving on, folks. I think we would have dealt with it in Matt Smith's season 8. Yeah, but he left.
You reckon?
Sooner than planned, from what I know. And that's why a lot of story arcs are rushed in Time of the Doctor.
Well, he had to get into all those big Hollywood movies.
Exactly the same for David. It takes a little while before the good shit starts coming through, apparently. Oh, he's got the crown.
George says,
was in the crown.
Yeah. George goes on to say, I've rambled for long enough. Here are my questions. What is the worst adaptation of a property you love and the best adaptation of a property you hate?
Ooh.
The worst adaptation of a property I love is the Peter Jackson Hobbit films.
Yeah.
Hands down.
They took a charming book
Either
and made
that
it boring.
or the Josh Trank Fantastic Four.
Yeah, do you know what? I think that's definitely up there for me. Josh Trank Fantastic Four as an example of taking something I adore and ruining it.
Yeah. As someone who is now 250 odd issues deep into the Fantastic Four run, I'm like coming towards the end of the John Byrne run. I'm like, this is fucking great. Why did they fuck this up? I can't wait to see what the MCU do with this.
Artemis Fowl's looking to be on course for the exact same sort of thing for me. Like the Artemis Fowl.
What's that?
Like the charm of what that story actually is, and how cleansed it has been based on the trailer for the upcoming movie. It's just like, that's disappointing. Most video game adaptations into other media, because they just sort of ruin it. And the DC EU version of Superman, full stop. Henry Cavill could play a great version of that character, but they've never written that character into either of the 3 films he was in. So,
best adaptation of a property you hate. I can't really think of anything that I don't like that's gotten a good adaptation.
For me, it's more a culture thing. Like, we've talked about this a lot on the podcast. I really don't like remakes because 9 times out of 10 it is just for the sake of, cashing in on a named property or brand. But that being said, there's a lot of remakes recently that have made me go, shit, do you know what? That's not bad, actually.
I don't generally have I don't have a thing against remakes. I don't have a thing against reboots. I just want them to be good.
Yeah.
Because I think a bad one can do more harm to the brand than good. And that kind of defeats the object of doing a remake or a reboot, because you obviously want to make more money out of it and make it relevant again. So by failing to make a good one, you're just harming the brand even more.
I think that's one to put out to the listeners, actually, for next time. Who is our emailee? George, hello George.
It's
So
from
George,
George.
guys, put forward to us like, what is the best thing? Was it what is an example of the best adaptation of something you don't like or care for?
The best adaptation of
I'm
a
curious
property
as to
you
what
hate.
that is because I can't, on the top of my head, I can't think of a definitive one, but I'm sure they're out there.
No, I can't think of anything that I hate that's
Let us
got
know,
a good adaptation.
bigdamcontact@gmail.com if one comes to mind, or let us
Yeah,
know
drawing
because
a blank on
that is a good. I'll have to have a think about that for next week, I think, because that's quite a good topic.
Well, there are more questions as well. George also asks, which major or minor character would you like to see get a Disney Plus series? And who would play them?
Oh, so that's across any property Disney Plus could have access to, I guess.
Well, we've already pitched our tent for what we'd like to add to the MCU.
The musical Squirrel Girl versus the Serpent Society movie starring Rachel Bloom. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm still going for that.
She's got a baby on the way at the moment. She's going to want to be doing some more family-friendly stuff. So, yeah, Squirrel Girl film. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Although there is a Squirrel Girl in the MCU, though, in one of the upcoming projects. I can't remember who's playing her, but someone's been cast.
It's in the
No, I'm sure there's a
animated stuff, I
live-action
think.
one that's in very early days. Like, they've talked about it.
Oh, Runaways,
She's
I
not
think.
in Runaways, but I think she might be coming into it. Yeah, or Cloak and Dagger or something. I'm sure they cast Squirrel Girl somewhere because it was like, oh, darn it. Oh, well, retcon. Rachel Bloom. Let's do it.
Good old Doreen Green. Major or minor characters. I would like.
Phil
I
Urich.
don't know what I'd like.
Do an adaptation. Loosely use it, 'cause obviously he wasn't the main character in this book, but loosely use the structure of Marvels and do a story set at the offices of Frontline and do a
Yeah.
the Marvel MCU from the perspective of a bullpen story. I'd watch the shit out of that because you absolutely could utilize Spider-Man Brain Trust era characters as supporting characters. You could bring Robbie Robertson in there if you want.
Yeah.
You could absolutely have like Nora Winters. Like there's people who would be a lot of fun. Do your Sam Jackson big paid for cameo appearance from the start of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and in one episode have this kid submit some photos and then be like, I don't know, it's a bit blurry. Tell you what, Peter, if you work on your technique, do you know what I mean? Like, just do it. Just set it up and be like, there it is. Get Holland in for one episode. Like, that'd be cute.
Oh, that's cute. That's a good idea.
Or maybe Ned. You have Ned trying to sell the photos to them, and him and Peter have done it on purpose to try and get some money. And then Jacob Batalon, he gets to be in it. We get to see more of that character. That'd be fun. And then technically, it makes sense because you've got Phil Urich, you'd have Joe Robbie Robertson, you'd have Ned Leeds sharing the screen. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Frontline.
That's pretty good, yo.
Phil Urich.
I don't know, man. Like most of the Marvel characters that I have any interest in have already been represented. So it would just be a case of do more Daredevil with Charlie Cox, and stuff like that, which is like, yeah, that's a boring answer.
Animated.
So I don't
MCU
know.
canon. Gwenpool. Because if you can get those stars back to do voice performances for What If, you can absolutely get 2 or 3 of them back for a Gwenpool miniseries in animated form. Gwenpool, for those who don't know, is a character who is from our world. At least that's the basic setup of the premise. And she ends up in the Marvel comics. So her superpower basically is she knows shit. And that's how she can get around. And she gets a costume and like has swords and sometimes a gun. And that's her superpower. And there's a wonderful moment, and I think it's in her first series. I think it's in The Unbelievable Gwenpool, where she just like Thor is there doing this, that, and the other, and it's Thor's there with a hammer. She's got a helmet and everything. She's obviously secret identity, and Gwen just behind her. Gwenpool just yells, "Jane!" And Thor's face in the panel is she just goes like, "What?" Like it's this whole thing of the fuck, like how the fuck. So that could be a lot of fun, but I think it'd have to be animated if you wanted to get your actors on board. And also not confuse people because they'll be like, wait, Gwenpool, is that Deadpool? It's like, no, it's not. Like, there's a thing.
It's a whole thing. Yeah. It's a whole thing.
It's a thing, y'all.
Yeah, I can't really.
What about Disney characters at large?
Yeah, there's nothing really coming to mind that I want to see more of, really. Like I say, it's all either already been done or it's in the pipeline. Like, we've all talked about Rosario Dawson, She-Hulk.
Well, she's going to be busy now. Yeah.
Although, yes, because of course she's popping up as Ahsoka Tano in season
Michael
2 of The Mandalorian.
Bean.
Along with Michael Bean.
They're racking up the cast members. Wonder when they're going to film.
But
I suppose if everyone uses Pure
know,
they could just get them into the background projection studio and film a whole season. So
on the subject of The Mandalorian,
which you've not seen,
or tangential to it, Gina Carano as She-Hulk.
Yes. The once and unfortunately not future Wonder Woman. Though I love Gal Gadot and especially her work with Patty Jenkins in the Wonder Woman film. But when Gina Carano's name was first cropping up in the rumours for Wonder Woman, I was like, yes, she can act. She's not been given the chance to play a particularly interesting part beyond muscle. Make her Wonder Woman. In a world where she can't be Wonder Woman, please make her She-Hulk. Please, dear God, make her She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen people suggesting that they do a Ferrigno Bixby thing.
Oh, two actors
with Gina Carano.
Well, you saw the report that was doing the rounds a couple of weeks ago, whereas they were looking for a which actor is it? What's her name? Yeah, they're looking for an Alison Brie type to play She-Hulk. Jen Walters. The internet collectively responded with, Alison Brie then? Do you want to talk to her? I'm sure she'd be interested. I think James Corden brought it up on his show and she was like, hey, I'm open to talking if they want to talk. And it's like, isn't that interesting? To be like, normally that archetype of like, we're looking for such a type. It's usually for a project that is never in a million years going to have access to that type of performer and you're using them as a blueprint.
Yeah.
Or it's in reference to an actor who is long since gone, who is like an archetype. Oh, we're looking for a Marilyn Monroe type. Oh, we're looking for a Clint Eastwood type. Like a certain era that everyone knows off the top of their head the moment you mention it.
Well, similarly, people have been asking John Krasinski about Fantastic Four and about playing Reed, and he's been like,
because apparently Marvel and Emily Blunt have been talking. So what they've been talking about, we don't know. But if it's Sue Storm, to his Reed Richards, yes, fucking please. I mean, for Christ's sake, John Krasinski looks how Reed Richards currently looks. I wouldn't be surprised if Dan Slott and the artists on that book were purposefully keeping Reed Richards looking like Krasinski in an attempt to just shape the universe.
Sliding new issues of Fantastic Four onto the desk of Kevin Feige going,
I mean, come on. The guys behind the Ultimates were like, right, Nick Fury, Brian Michael Bendis decided it, like, roughly around the time of Ultimate Spider-Man, because Nick Fury appeared in Ultimate Spider-Man first. And then Ultimates happens, and they all make that collective decision, like Brian Hitch and Mark Miller and everything go, right, we're going to base him off Samuel L. Jackson. They get permission off Samuel L. Jackson, saying, do you mind? And he goes, are you fucking kidding me? I love comic books. I love Nick Fury. Go for it. That's great. I'm happy for it. Don't have to pay any royalties.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm happy. Go for it. You can look like me. That makes me really happy. Just send me some issues when they're done. And they were like, oh my God, great. Thank you, Samuel L. Jackson. The characters cast themselves in what actors would play them in a film. And Nick Fury says, Samuel L. motherfucking Jackson. You're like, oh, it's a reference to the fact that he looks like Samuel L. Jackson. And then 10 years later, it's Samuel L. Jackson in films. So maybe they're just trying to hurry along the Samuel L. Jackson effect with Krasinski by making Reed look like John Krasinski. John Krasinski, and John Krasinski is bearded nowadays. Reed Richards is still bearded after like 3 years and is showing no signs of them putting him back to his classic look. So,
and also he knows folks at Marvel because I think it was for Captain America. I think it was down to him and Chris Evans.
Yep.
So he's
Yeah.
got.
Also, isn't that amazing? Because then if he ends up being
people
Reed
like him,
Richards, that means the two people who were nearly Captain America were both in Fantastic Four adaptations. So there you go.
Oh yeah, those early 2000s Fantastic
Harmless.
Fours are
They're harmless.
fine.
That's their biggest crime is they're safe. That's their biggest crime. They're very generic mid-2000s comedy movies for the whole family. And as a result, a lot of the jokes are like borderline sleazy and really easy, obvious jokes. But Michael Chiklis as the Thing is great. He's freaking great. Chris Evans as Johnny Storm is pretty decent. And that's it. That's the end of the major positives.
Yep, that's it.
Also, funnily enough, Rise of the Silver Surfer is on Disney Plus, but the Fantastic Four is not.
What about the Fudge Common 994 version?
I love that. No, only Rise of the Silver Surfer, which adds credence to the theory that Fantastic Four is something they're going to be announcing soon, because they don't want to confuse people.
Yeah.
They don't want to.
Is Fan 4 stick on there?
And they've got every X-Men movie except for First Class and Dark Phoenix. Oh, and Logan. So they don't have Logan or the two Deadpools on there, which I kind of understand at the moment because, I guess they'll find a way to do windows with some of those things at some point. They'll find ways to put barriers. I think The Simpsons has got Lucy's been binging The Simpsons since we got it, and the early seasons have got you son of a bitch, and that's in there, and there's no censorship. So I imagine they will find ways to, because you can put parent lock on. You can put parent lock on profiles. So I'm guessing they'll eventually put some of the heavier stuff on there.
There's too much stuff in the back catalogue for them to not.
First Class was an odd one. I was like, why is that not on there? That's strange. But then I remembered, I guess, a couple of the scenes are out of the whole X-Men series, that's the one with the more scenes that reference to or are deliberately involving sex and sexual interaction. So maybe that's why.
Yeah. So someone should do a breakdown of all the fucks on Disney Plus.
All the fucks given on Disney Plus.
Yeah, because there's got to be movies in there that have the mandated PG-13 fuck.
Get the fuck away from her!
Of all the fucks.
Cyclops? Why? Why did you say that? Oh,
that was so out
maybe
of place,
that's why First
wasn't
Class isn't on there. Go fuck yourself.
No, because it's also in Days of Future Past and Apocalypse.
Oh, I'll have to watch.
And
I'll have to watch one of them actually
Dark
to
Phoenix.
see if it makes it through. That's interesting. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. Because the Fox X-Men movies don't.
Daredevil and Elektra are also not on there. Just saying.
Okay. Finally, from George, he asks, after getting my girlfriend into Doctor Who, we've just finished Series 1 after she watched most of Series 12 with me and wanted to see it all. Father's Day and Dalek
Good
are her
taste.
favourites so far. Solid choices. Are there any movies or TV shows that your significant other loves that you've been drawn into and vice versa?
Ooh. We have a thing at home where, there's a lot of times, usually web series, where I really get into something, and Lucy sort of is like, oh, this. Are you watching this again? Bleeding hell. And then the time she sits down to watch one, I then catch her on her own watching it. So almost like we've acknowledged that there's almost like a built-in threshold where she automatically is like, oh god, this is irritating, and then goes, maybe if I watch it on my own, and then she gets into it. That happened with a lot of web series. It's how she got into things like Kid Icarus, JonTron, The Subject with a Camera, things like that over time. So things that I got into that Lucy sort of put me onto, there's not many. If she's watching Desperate Housewives and I'm in the room, I do end up slipping into and I'm just going to sit here and watch this for a bit. Because there's some good stuff in there.
I have watched a lot of stuff and watch a lot of stuff sort of just because Keeks has it on. So that's how I watched what I've watched of things like Umbrella Academy. I didn't watch all of it, I just watched it when Keeks was watching it. So I've kind of experienced it through that. She started watching Westworld first, and they got me into Westworld, and then we devoured that together. Yes. It's such a good show. Season 3 started, 2 episodes in. Pretty fucking good.
Whoa, there's cowboy robots, bitch.
Whoa.
Is that Aaron Paul's dialogue?
She's also got me in... She's got me in...
Why not?
No. He's very, very different. He's actually doing a character.
He's doing one of them actings.
Leave him alone. He's doing an acting. She was patient zero for Rick and Morty in our
she was. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She spread it. She spread it like
Bob's Burgers. She was a big She got me into Bob's Burgers in a big way. I'd seen it before, but really got into it and watching it regularly with her. Things like podcasts. Like I got really into true crime stuff, specifically Red Handed and All Killer No Filler.
Yes, yeah, All Killer No Filler is another one that I got into because Keeks was like, "Yeah, listen to that one." I was like, "I'll give it a try."
All Killer No Filler.
It was great. It was real good.
Any other things that specifically come off the top of my mind? No, I'm fairly easy though. Like I'll just be like pottering around or playing something, and I'll just be like, put whatever you want on. And so I've it's not that much I've got into it, but I've ended up watching a lot of it just because that's what she's got on. Lucifer. She's been watching Lucifer recently, so I've ended up watching a lot of Lucifer with her. Not actually that much of Lucifer because
considering he looks nothing like Bowie, do they at least slip Bowie tracks in there?
Not that I've noticed, but the only reason that show is at all watchable is because of Tom Ellis. So, just being charming as fuck, as we've discussed before.
He's a fucking charming man.
So yeah, it's just things like that. I will just watch whatever and just happily let it do its thing. Yeah,
like a Tenacious D cum rag.
Yeah, there's nothing that she'll put on and be like, I'm not watching that. Fuck that.
We get a few.
Although if we're watching something particularly cringe comedy, I might have to leave the room for the more cringy part because I can't handle cringe comedy. It really makes me so anxious. I can't watch Peep Show.
You and Lou are the same there
because it's so cringe. I just I can't. It's such a trigger. And I couldn't watch Barry for a similar reason. Like it was just so sad. It's brilliantly observed and very touching and well written and good stuff. But just it was so melancholy that I might be able to go back to it now, but it was just so melancholy I couldn't handle it.
There are shows like that where you do kind of have to pull away, despite the fact you're enjoying them.
Yeah,
Lucy was like that with Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. She couldn't by like episode 6. She just turned to me. And she went, "Can you pause it?" And I was like, "Yeah." She went, "I can't keep watching this." I was like, "Why is everything right?" She was like, "The Skeksis just freaking me and grossing me out too much. I can't do this." She's like, "It's amazing. I wish I could. If there was some way to watch just the scenes with like Deet and all the Gelflings, then I'd watch the living hell out of it, but it is getting to me." And I was like, "That's totally fine." She felt really bad about it because she was like, I feel like that's a stupid reason to stop watching. I was like, not at all. Like, if something about it is stopping you from enjoying it, then not watching it is the way to go.
Yeah. We have fairly similar tastes anyway, so it's not like there's not that much stuff where if one of us is watching it, the other one will actively avoid it.
Yeah.
I like your pipe.
Thank you. I like your axe.
I'm just messing with my hatchet.
We are literally just holding hatchets and pipes now.
I had a hatchet to hack down some of the stuff in the back garden. I'm just playing with it. I'm just playing with a hatchet. Don't play with knives, kids.
No, but do play with pipes.
I'm only doing it because I have no sense of self-preservation and a deep self-loathing.
And a bloodlust for vines.
Next emails, this is a short one from Jack. Says, "G'day, big damn lads. This is Jack, our Australian listener, I believe.
Good day, Jack.
Good day, Jack. G'day, big damn lads. It's Jack here. In a recent podcast, you spoke about the games you've been streaming. Just wanted to say that I've been thoroughly enjoying your streams, Chris. It's Millsy Who on Twitch.
Hey!
And can't wait to see more streams from Matt soon. Thanks for all the big damn content to keep me occupied in this toilet paperless dystopia." Well, thank you. Thank you, Jack. The only reason I don't stream more is because I don't have a permanent streaming setup. Whenever I want to stream, I have to set all the cabling, a webcam, a microphone and stuff up, and then break it all down again afterwards because I don't have a dedicated workspace for it.
Same. My desk becomes a hub of wires when it's set up, and it has been for the last few days. For the next couple of days, I'm mostly going to be streaming mobile games, just so my desk can be a little less cluttered. So I'm packing it all away, and I'll just have a phone plugged in. You could do some impromptu streams just over the PlayStation Share button, I suppose. Like we can have
it's just getting it set up with stream,
ones.
and then we don't have the overlays, and we don't have proper chat integration. Just a bit of a
yeah, but if it's on the fly.
Yeah, I suppose.
If it's on the fly, hey, it's a tough time out there. We'll make do.
I might just do some on my personal channel and host it on the Big Damn. We'll see.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
So yeah, thanks for that, Jack. And
Thanks,
finally,
Jack. Millsy who?
The next one's quite big, so I'm going to save it for next week.
Okie dokes. Give us a teaser. Read the first word.
But it's thoughts on the first episode of The Mandalorian. So.
Oh yeah, okay. Do you know what? We'll save that for next week.
Save that for next week.
Because there'll be another episode out to chat about, and probably less pop culture news by then.
Yeah, so we'll do that one up front of next week and talk about some more Mandalorian and whatever else I'll have come across in my. Fucking, I need to watch the further episodes of the Gabriel Byrne War of the Worlds that's on Now TV.
Oh yeah.
See what that's like, because the first two episodes were fairly interesting. First two are pretty interesting. Not at all a faithful adaptation.
No.
But interesting.
Okay. Why not just call it something else and just put in the credits put inspired by War of the Worlds?
Yeah, so whatever.
Yeah.
It's interesting, even if it is just in name only. It's still interesting, which is more than could be said of the BBC adaptation,
which was garbage.
Fucking hot garbage, man. So yeah, other things. Picard's nearly over.
Yeah,
I think. So that's probably worth watching and talking about. Westworld's ongoing. That's been really good so far, but we're only 2 episodes in. And there's no movies coming out, ever, which is why I'm watching lots of old shit movies. This is the end of films.
You think it's bad for us? We at least have an open topic policy on this show. All the film reviewers on YouTube have gone into just watching the stuff that they missed now.
Yeah.
Have you noticed? Like, even Movie Bob's like, I didn't get around to doing the what was the Nick Cage one again?
No, Colour Out of Space.
Colour Out of Space. I didn't get around to doing it when it came out, so here's my review of it.
Did you see his review of it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. He's pretty bob on with his assessment. It's
Movie bob
great.
on. Haha!
Hey!
But like your Jeremy Johns and your Chris Stuckmans are all like, hey, here's that random sequel to a thing we never talked about from 4 years ago. Let's talk about that. And I'm like,
it's alright.
I hope your viewers are looking out after you and watching your videos and keeping the activity going, but at the same time, what a weird thought that all these channels are suddenly grinding to a halt.
I mean,
so
I never
strange.
watched those cunts anwiay.
I wanted to pick up Empire magazine this week as well, because it's Black Widow, which is obviously redundant now, but it's got a Gremlins 2 feature in it. And I was like,
nice.
I want to pick that up. And it's like, and I'm just going to, I think it will depress me, because if I do get hold of it, I'm just going to be reading articles for films that were meant to be out by now.
Get a digital version, it's fine. You don't have to go to the shops, you could just get it from Google Play.
Yeah, but it costs exactly the same, and if I get it from the shops, I can at least then recycle it when I'm done with it.
Fair.
As toilet paper.
in this toilet paperless dystopia, as Jack said. Thanks for listening, folks. I hope you're all keeping well out there. Or in there, as the case may be.
Yes.
You're not allowed out.
Yes.
Remain
indoors.
Yeah, that's been doing the rounds again. Of course, do not go out unless you have to, or you're a key worker. Keep people safe. Keep yourself safe. Keep listening to us, because our egos need to be massaged in these trying times. And as always, you can find us here every week. Get us at Big Damn Cast on Twitter for all the latest on updates. Send us in emails, thoughts, questions, and shit posts to bigdamcontact@gmail.com. And of course, keep an eye on twitch.tv/bigdamstream for streams. Not really a concern at the moment because of everything that's going on. But if you do find yourself in a position to be able to support us, you can do so over at patreon.com/bigdamcast. But as I say, in current circumstances, don't worry about that shit. I'm just doing due diligence. Thank you Thank you again.
Oh,
for
and
listening.
boycott Weatherspoons.
Oh yeah, Boycott Weatherspoons fucked in mine. That guy is epic cunt with a bad haircut.
Oh my god, his hair. What is happening there?
It looks like someone's pressed his face into the dirt, pressed his face into the soft concrete. His squashed little fucking gammon-faced twat.
Oh, we'll be back next week with a list of stores and services you should boycott from this day forward. But until then, rest easy, cadets, and something inspirational, something.